There she is.
There she is. All right. We're here.
How long
with
are these normally?
We'll shoot for like an hour.
Okay.
You know,
and
like,
then you do it. Okay.
Yeah, and then I'll probably edit it down to like 45-ish, something like that. You know, so. All right, cool. So we're here with Drea Young. Thank you very much, Drea. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
I first met you at the Fire. I was invited to be the guest speaker at the Monday night meetup over at the Fire in Philly on Girard Avenue. That was a blast. It was the first time I'd ever had an opportunity to do anything like that. So it was very cool. It's a very cool concept. So, you know, we were talking before we hit record. But like, give me a little bit of or give my listeners a little bit of a background of what the Monday Night Meetup is.
So basically the Monday Night Meetup is at this moment, an event that is giving back to the community, in Philly. And we would have 4 hours of performances, and then we would find somebody in the industry as a guest mentor speaker to educate. You know, it was all about educating, knowledge, talent, networking. You know, vendors can go there for free. If you sell things, if you make music, like whatever you do, it was all about people coming together. If you're a graphic designer, if you're a lawyer, whoever you are, show up, because in this indie scene, we all need each other. So it's a meetup place for us all to meet each other.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's a very cool concept. Was it once a month?
Yeah.
Well, okay. So like the first Monday of the month or something like that?
Yeah, the first Monday.
All right, awesome. So tell me a little bit about your musical background. Like, what's kind of your primary like genre? What would you say you do here, Drea?
Well, it's a whole story. So I guess we have time to
We have plenty of time.
to
I want to
start
hear
the
it
story.
all.
So let's see. I picked up a guitar in 1994. That's when I was 13. I think 13 was that 94. Yeah, I was born in 81. So 1994 got, you know, really into the grunge scene, the punk scene.
Nice.
Of course, like any 90s kid in the grunge and punk scene or whatever, wants to be a rock and roll star, right? So I was in different bands in high school, and when I hit my early 20s, I was still in some things, and they were just not working out.
Okay.
And when I was like 23, it was one of the last projects in that point of my life. I was working with this guy, and we moved to Pittsburgh for this music project, and it was at that time that I was like, look, if this one doesn't work out, I really was into the engineering part and the producing part and the technicalities of everything. So, you know, I had gotten like Pro Tools. It was like Pro Tools 2. I don't know. It was like early. Right. I had Reason, which I think it was Reason 2, and like Pro Tools 4. I have no idea. It was so long ago.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed that part of it. So I'm like, look, if this doesn't work out this time, I'm not going to even try another person. Okay. I'm just going to go into that part of life.
What kind of project was that though? Like, were you singing, like it was a duo?
It was a duo, but it was like very it was very Marilyn Manson, like industrial influence.
Oh, really? Okay.
So we were doing a lot, you know, in Reason. I don't know if you know Reason.
No, I'm sorry.
So Reason is, I guess you could say a beat making software. So it's like it's a, you know, where you do everything on the computer, and it was newer at that time.
Okay.
Reason's still out, and it has become amazing, along with a lot of other software.
Nice.
So we did a lot of production on that, and then I had my guitar. I had a Line 6 HD 147 head, you know, to get all the sounds. It could do all these different things. He was a drummer. Okay. He also produced. So it was like trying to figure out that industrial duo.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Very cool. So then after that, I guess disbanded, right? Then where did you go? What did you do after that?
So after that, I took a little hiatus, and then I ended up in 2007 going to school at Full Sail. You ever heard of Full Sail?
Full Sail?
Yeah,
No.
Full Sail. It became a university while I was there. It's in Florida.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And it's a one of the top recording schools. Now it's a whole entertainment school.
Okay.
It's got everything. Very expensive. And I knew about this school, and I was kind of like, me, like I'm not like a rich kid or anything. And I was like, you know what, just go. And paid off my school loans. November 2023.
Nice. All right.
I had $90,000 in school loans, and I was like, wow, wow, these aren't going to be paid off until my 40s. Like, I'm going to be up there.
That's rough.
And then it happened. So that was amazing.
That's
so
awesome.
I went
Congratulations.
to the,
Congratulations.
Yes, that was a big day. That was a big
bet
day.
it was.
I was like, wow, I've been paying these forever. Because I went to the, in 2001, I went to school for 2000 for graphic design.
Oh, okay.
At the Art Institute when I was in Philly.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I did advertising and all that. Actually, before the whole other story I just told you, I used to work for Electric Factory Concerts when it was Electric Factory.
Oh, really? Okay.
And before Clear Channel bought like everything, and then Live Nation bought everything.
Right. Everything else.
So I used to make a lot of times the bands would have like things that they sent, but I would rework them for the newspaper, get things printed, go hang them up at shows to like promote other shows.
Oh, okay.
So that was cool. And then there was not a lot of room for growth, and the only thing I really liked in graphic design was music. Like, music is where I'm at.
Sure.
So I was like, meh. And then that's when I took off with that music project.
Yep.
And then took a little hiatus, and then went to Full Sail. And from there, this guy Tony Druten came and talked at the school, and he was the manager of Sony Studios while it was still open.
Nice.
This was like 2007,
Yeah.
and because 2008 was a big crash. A lot of studios. That's when, like, remember, everything was crashing, and all these studios were shutting down.
Yep.
But he came and talked to the school, and I was like, I want to work for that guy. And he.
What was your intent when you went to school, though? Like, why did you go down there in the first place? Like, what did you want to be?
Well, that's when I was like in the engineering, producing. Okay. I still was an artist, but I was kind of like, I kind of was like, I don't know. I think that I felt like to be an artist, it takes a lot.
Sure.
And it's a different time now, 20 years later, of how far you can actually get.
Yeah.
But at that time, I didn't really have like the confidence, and like if I had enough of whatever. So it's like, what else can I do?
There were a lot more gatekeepers back then too, right? So you needed like a degree or something, or formal education in order to even be considered for one of those jobs, right? It's not like today where you can produce your own stuff and release it online, because all those gatekeepers now have been kind of removed, right? So anyway, so this
Which
guy.
Is funny you say that, though, because I always tell the younger people now, I'm like, I don't discourage people to go to school, because it's a good thing, but it's just like so expensive. And in this industry, I feel like whatever was going on in the 70s, like you would go into a studio, you'd be the intern, you take out the trash, do whatever, and you get like this free knowledge.
Right.
It was like, and then schools are like, wait, we can charge a lot of money. And it's like, you're going to go to school for this, but you're still going to come out.
Right.
And I just wish that it could go back to that. And the other thing that's really funny is I don't think anyone ever asked to see my degree.
Oh, really?
So I could have been the fake it till you make it kid. Just, if anybody out there listening, it's like, I don't know, maybe you can get through saying you did these things. So with Tony, so he specifically was like, don't come talk to me now, because it's just a bunch of eager kids, after he spoke. He said, send me an email or whatever, send me your resume. So I listened to what he said. Everybody else went up there and talked to him. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do what this guy said. And I was very persistent. Like, if when he used to tell the story, he's like, you stalked me. Like, so I was very persistent.
Good for you.
Like, if it wasn't, it was like persistent, but sometimes you can be over persistent. So I feel like I was doing just enough.
Yeah, you had the right balance.
And all the way up to the point of this guy. I could have killed him. I was taking a trip. I was in Florida, and I was taking a trip. I don't know if I was coming to see family. So I was like, he set up a meeting with me, and he's in Manhattan. My family was probably like Philly. And I'm like, I got to take this trip, right? So we set up a time. I get to Manhattan, and who doesn't meet me?
Oh, no.
Yeah. So went back to Florida. But long story short, when I did graduate, I had some interviews. I can't even remember the names of all the studios now, but I had some cool interviews, and I was feeling hopeful. And then he hit me up out of nowhere.
Oh, really?
And he's like, come. They were building. So Sony Studios was shutting down. Yeah. That's when everything was shutting down. And he was building with the vice president of Sony Studios. Like, it was a very small studio, but it was kind of, they had investors. They were trying to build this big thing. And they had this little small studio to hold everybody over. Okay. And he was like, they were still building it. And he was like, do you want to work here? And I was like, yeah.
Yeah. Where was that? What state?
That was in Manhattan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was like 51st
yep.
Street, like right in,
Yep.
like right up the street from Times Square.
Okay, gotcha.
And then, yeah, and so the vice president, he had all like classical and jazz clients, and then Tony, he had like hip hop and pop and all those kind of clients. So I ended up being the only one working there. So that was super cool. I basically lived there. Everywhere I was living actually was far away, and that's a whole whatever. But so I got to a point where it's like, do you guys care if I put a suitcase in the hallway like of the stairwell?
Yeah, right.
Because I got to sleep on this couch.
Yeah.
So it was like night and day, and I got to work with like the very first session I did was with Bow Wow, Lil Bow Wow.
Really?
But that was the first big session, and then I worked with like everyone in that room. I mean, from Beyonce, Justin Timberlake,
Really?
Yo-Yo Ma, Bjork, like, because these two guys were the major, like when the major labels would come in, they worked at Sony. So
That's
these
amazing.
two guys had all those clients.
So what did you and I'm interrupting because I'm genuinely interested.
Good,
Like,
I need you to interrupt.
Okay. What was your job there? Were you actually like pushing faders and stuff?
So when I started out, I was whatever they called me. Like, I don't know if it was a general. It was like an intern, but they did pay me $7 an hour, which my commute was $500 a month, and that's what I made.
Yeah, right. I mean, in Manhattan, $7 an hour is nothing.
So I have a story when like I didn't even know I was talking to Jessica Biel. Like, I'm not real good with celebrities. Justin Timberlake was in the control room, and there's this woman talking to me like outside the control room, and I had on this glass like Greek eye ring, and she's like, "Oh, I like your ring." She's like, "I should give you my jeweler's number and all this stuff." And I'm like, "Who is this woman?" Like, I'm happy to get a dollar slice down the street right now. Like, I do not need your jeweler's number, So it was. So I started out just basically I helped them build the room. So I knew the room.
Yeah.
And then I was basically like an assistant, for a long time. And it was crazy because I was one of those people, like I had this whole binder of, I used to call it my studio Bible or something. It had all the music theory in it. It had all this stuff about mics in it.
Yep.
And it also had like all these things I wrote up about different engineers I wanted to work with one day. Like all these people I studied.
And this was something that you carried around that you
I
kind of
carried it around 'cause
built
it had-
yourself. You put it together yourself.
Yeah. And it had all this information, I like to be prepared.
Sure. Yeah. I remember.
It was really crazy when all of a sudden the one day, his name's Joe Furla, and I was like, dude, I have a whole story about you right here. Like, he was like, what? I'm like, I've been wanting to work with you, And he actually had an assistant engineer on that, and I was just like, they didn't call it an intern. I forget what they called it.
Like an apprentice or something, maybe.
It was like, I don't know. It was like an intern, but they had a nicer name for it.
Sure.
And then, so then I ended up one day. So basically, I was slowly getting to engineer like songwriting sessions.
Okay.
So like when pop people would come in, they would have songwriters, because I think it was probably a little less pay than like the engineers. So I started getting a lot of practice that way, and then I would just sit in the studio when they would leave because I had the keys, and I would just. The world was crashing. Like that was in 2008, 2009, and everything was like crashing. So these guys that had these investors and all these big dreams, like that was crashing for them. So they're not even like, I feel like paying attention, where I was like right here and they were all right here. And the only place I had to go was up while they were like falling. And it was cool because I got to learn the console like inside and out. It was a Euphonics. I got to play with all these plugins. I got to sit for 10 hours and mix one vocal if I wanted to, just to learn all those things,
Yep.
So that was cool. And then I had to leave in 2010. It was only 2 years went by, and it was a financial disaster.
So it was a financial decision that you had to move on.
It was a financial decision. And then I think there was just like some sessions too, which it's funny now because of everything that's happening with Diddy. There was just some sessions
here we go.
that I was like, that I just was not being respected. And it wasn't necessarily like sexually even. It was just like, I used to have to run the Diddy's studio and get vodka because he has that, Ciroc vodka. So like if whatever the client needed, I was like, and there was just like a lot of disrespect from that crew. And
now, do you think, I hope you don't find this question like offensive, but like, do you think it's because you're a woman, just like the new kid on the block, or just because they were like mega stars and you're just the worker in the studio?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, because being a woman is actually that there was this kid that he was still in Full Sail when I had left. Okay. And I don't know if it was like Full Sail ended up using me as a story. Like some people would come in to intern once I like moved up a little bit, and they're like, "Oh, you're Drea. They talk about you at Full Sail because I ended up going to Manhattan and doing this and that and blah blah blah."
Yep.
And this kid comes in, and which I'm cool with him, but I don't feel like saying names.
Sure.
And he just started getting sessions, like the sessions I should be getting.
Oh, really?
And I'm like,
wow.
oh. Okay, this is how this works. And but that's not what was going on with the other. It was just they don't want to pay people. You know, and it was just a lot of like nonsense. But definitely being a female, it's like an extra like you have to be a fighter. I bet.
And
I mean anything in this.
Sure. No, I agree.
I don't know why. It should be a female's world, but you know, we're trying.
I hear you.
We're trying. We're getting there.
Hey, I voted that way the last election. I'm all for it.
We're trying. We're just equality. That's all we need. But
I hear you.
So anyways, I left in 2010. Before I went into all this, I was like always a bartender.
Okay.
Like, and every bar I worked at, they always wanted me to be a manager, and I'm like, no, because salary, it's not fair.
Yeah.
And I was like a corporate trainer, which I hate training. They're like, why are you on this team? And I was like, I don't know, actually. And I went home. But I opened up like 5 bars. Like I opened up like a Miller's Ale House or 2.
Oh, wow.
A Chili's. This club in Philly. Like I was like a main person that would train all the people. So 2010, when everything was... I was like, I can't keep doing this, because my parents were helping me out, and it got to a point where I'm like, I can't keep having you guys.
Yeah,
and I paid them back. I'm good with money.
That's awesome.
But
how old were you at the time?
So in 2010, by that point, I was 29.
Okay, yeah. So here you are pushing 30, and you're like, I'm not sure I should be taking money from my parents anymore, right?
Yeah, like they were helping me. Well, they told me 2 years, they were excited when I was going, and 2 years prior, and it was a lot. And they're like, look, until you get your feet on the ground.
Yep.
So 2 years later, I'm like, my feet are not even near the ground. So I think it's time I go back to Philly. And I went back to Philly, which was so weird because, like I said, I had been working with like all these like big names, and then all of a sudden I'm at 38th and Chestnut at the worst Chili's that had a strip club underneath it. Like, it's closed now. Like, it was just
I've been to
old.
that strip club.
It's just, have you?
I went there. I went there for my bachelor party, my first bachelor party. Yeah, I remember, what was it called?
Atlantis?
Atlantis? It
was
might have, I don't know, but I do remember it was in the basement of a Chili's.
It was it was underneath the Chili's. Like, the girls would come up and get their black beans, and then, like, I'm like, what is happening? You know? And it was the very old Chili's, so it was, like, falling apart. It was a mess. But, like, then what ended up happening, so I'm like, okay, what am I doing? I did know from there, I didn't, like, it was cool that I got to be with the majors, and, like, that's something that people want, but I felt like I didn't fit in with them. I just felt like after I was in this Jay-Z session, I was like,
really?
I don't know if I'm like these people. And I think everything that people are saying is true.
Okay, all right.
All these years later, I'm like, I made the right decision, you know?
I mean, so, you know, I'm fascinated, and obviously we don't want to, like, you know, cause trouble with anybody who might hear this, but, like, I mean, it sounds like you've worked with like anybody and everybody, you know, in that area, right? Or in you know, at that level, I should say, like megastars. Was there any like random request that you were just like, seriously? Like, I mean, like going to get vodka for Diddy. I mean, I get it. It's a shit job, but it's a reasonable.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's like
you
a reasonable.
You love
request.
It while you're doing it.
Right,
you're like,
exactly.
I'm going to Diddy's and getting vodka.
Yeah, right. But was there like, did you go to the liquor store and be like, oh, I got to buy a bottle of vodka for P Diddy?
Yeah. Yeah. No, he had his own because he had that Ciroc.
Oh, right. But is there any like crazy like requests or anything just completely outlandish?
There's gotta be.
Yeah.
There's gotta be. But I can't. I guess nothing stood out.
That's all right. I was just
Nothing
curious.
stood out. I mean, I can tell you a nightmare story, but I'm leading up to that, I guess.
Okay. All right.
So then, so I wish I could think of a request. I mean, I guess when Beyonce, I don't really remember. I just remember if it was a major like pop star.
Yeah.
So dealing with classical and jazz is completely different.
Sure. I
than
would imagine.
pop
Yeah.
and hip hop. Like
Yep.
classical and jazz, easy. Like they show up on time. It's a morning, 10, 11 in the morning. You do whatever.
They know their
It's
stuff.
the pop, it's like then you get Beyonce's coming in, and it's like, like the smells and the this and then that. It's like
smells.
the candles have to be this, and I'm like, what is happening? So there is it happens.
That's hilarious. I love that.
Yeah, and I know there's always like, oh, only green M&Ms,
Yeah, right,
or something,
right.
and
Yeah.
it's real. It depends
Yeah.
on what level.
Yeah.
But honestly, Beyonce, I never really cared about her, and then I had a session, and it was basically her band came to the studio to practice.
Okay.
So it was a very small studio, basically just a control room, a small booth. You couldn't even really record a band, but between the two rooms, you could set up enough instruments
Gotcha.
and figure it out. And
Yep.
and there was a couch, and she was in sweatpants and sweats. She looked adorable. I was like, who is this girl? And she was sleeping. She was taking a nap. She was tired. And then once the band was ready for her to like sing, she got up. And like her and I had this whole conversation about, I had this hoodie on, and she loved, like, it was like this hoodie with like a rim on the hat, and
Okay.
we were talking about like how our bodies are 90% water. I don't know, like we were chilling. We were having a good time, and I was like, you know what? I think I like Beyonce.
Yeah,
and,
right.
and same thing happened with Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
It was like we got takeout Chinese whatever for dinner, and we're all just sitting around, and like I lived in California when I was younger, and just sharing like childhood stories, and I was like, oh, like very down to earth, very
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
He was actually supposed to be in a session with Beyonce, but she didn't show up to that one. So he was mad at Beyonce. Another time Beyonce showed up, and Justin, but that wasn't for Justin. So that was a whole thing. But yeah, then that morning driving back, from wherever, Manhattan, in my, however I traveled, trains
Right.
and car,
Yep.
7 a.m, like, Mom, guess who said they appreciated me last night? She's like, who? I'm like, Justin Timberlake. She's like, oh my God. But that's when
great.
Jessica Biel's like trying to, I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't need your jeweler. It's fine.
It sounds like, obviously you're in a professional setting, you're working, right? So you're not going to be like, oh my God, I love you so much. But like, was there anybody that walked in that you were like, holy shit? Like, did you ever get like starstruck by anybody?
I'm not really a starstruck person because
no.
even like my jobs before this, like when I was in the with Electric Factory, like it was always a lot of famous people around, and I just was never really that person. But a person that was pretty cool to work with was Lucy Arnaz, Lucille Ball's daughter.
Oh, okay.
We were in the studio for like a week.
Yep.
Over Thanksgiving, we worked on her. I was on her Latin Roots album, and that was pretty cool. Just like hearing stories and
man.
getting to know her, and then
That's awesome.
her talking about whatever. So, but I mean, anybody coming through was like, oh, But I just had to work the session and make sure everything was good. And then I left, and it must have been December 2010, I guess. I was at my place. I lived in Northern Liberties at that time, and the Grammy nomination show was on.
Yep.
So I'm just sitting, reclining in my couch, drinking, smoking, chilling, whatever I'm doing,
Yep.
And all of a sudden, this album came up that I worked on.
Nice.
And I was like, are you kidding me? Because like this album, when I told you I had a nightmare story, a nightmare story happened with Joe Furla, the guy I always wanted to work with.
Oh, okay.
He could see like how I operated, and he was like, I want you to be my assistant, which was kind of like a second engineer. Like I like to call it that more because he's been doing it since like the 60s or 70s.
Yep.
So he was at a point in his career that he wasn't learning the new technology.
Oh, okay.
So like he'll record it, he'll mix it, but like when it comes to running the board or running Pro Tools or cleaning up the tracks, like I was up all night
Gotcha.
cleaning the tracks and doing all that. And so it was Esperanza Spalding. I don't know if you ever heard of her.
No,
She's like an upright
sorry.
bassist. And I probably wouldn't have either. So, I mean, she ended up winning, so I don't know. But it was crazy because some other engineer had recorded it. And Joe Furla, he would always like to record and mix his projects. He doesn't like someone else to record it. And I guess the label didn't want to pay as much as he wanted to record it. And mix it. But then they weren't happy with who they hired.
Oh, okay.
So then they sent the project to Joe Furla. So he was already like, oh my God. Like, because like he didn't record it.
Oh, I see.
You know, and then he had to mix it and fix it and make it beautiful. And so we spent a lot of time on that. And then whatever, it's done. It's over. Because his one rule was, when I became his assistant, was just don't fuck up. He's like, I've handed out Burger King applications during my sessions. Like, if you fuck up, get out of my session,
go work at Burger
and
King.
here's your application, right? So he was like serious, like, and you felt like, and it was like I only wanted to impress this guy because he was he already had I don't know how many Grammys, and like he was just such a huge person to be working with.
That's awesome.
And that's how I felt about also I worked with when I worked with Beyonce, her vocal engineer.
Okay.
He was great. I don't know, so many good people, but he, so it was just like, just don't fuck up. I was like, okay. So the project's done and getting mastered. I sent it out, and then the phone rings, and he's like, Drea, so it's all mastered. It's done. Yeah. He's like, what files did you send to the mastering studio? And I told him, and what ended up happening was, he's like, these are not my mixes. And I was like, oh, no. Anytime I would see him call me, it was instant.
Yeah, your heart would drop,
because I knew there was a problem.
Yeah.
It was never like, oh, great job.
Yeah.
It's always like, so I'm like, what are you talking about? And here, the hard drive, there was like 2 hard drives with the label. And ours were in there. I forget how I labeled them. It was like 44-1, whatever, and the 48 or whatever, like a couple different folders, and they could master whatever they wanted. But they left the other mixes on there. And I didn't really feel like I didn't erase them. Why would I erase anything on this hard drive?
Sure.
And so when it went to mastering, they mastered the other person's mixes.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that was bad.
Ooh.
Yeah. Because it's not, it's like
in
Manhattan, it was Blue Note was the label, I think.
Okay.
And fortunately, like, their mastering person's already working and gets, I think, a salary or something. Because it took them like 2 days, which would be like thousands of dollars. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. This happened.
So somehow they were able to get the correct mixes back.
The correct mixes were on the hard drive.
Oh, okay.
They were just in another folder.
Gotcha.
Because I never live and learn. I would never allow that to happen again. But it probably said like mixes for mastering.
Oh, okay.
And then mine might have just said something. Yeah. And they didn't even, whatever happened.
Yeah. It's a mistake. It's an honest mistake.
I know, but it was not a good one.
Sure.
It was because I'd already done a couple other things while we were doing that album. Like they used the outboard reverb, the lexicon, I think it was called. And I don't know if it was like a setting. Like his ear was so good.
Yeah.
That the smallest thing, if it wasn't what he did, he'd be like, you did not, like, when you go back into the studio the next day, I mean, now there's computers and like Euphonics or whatever had a computer that you could save. But like when you do have to dial things back in, if something changed, and he'd be like, this
he
is
could hear
like,
it. Yeah. That stuff amazes me because I guess I don't have a good ear for any of that stuff. Like, I don't think I'll ever be like an engineer or a mixer because I can't hear a difference. Like, I've watched YouTube videos of like, oh, listen to this mix and listen to that mix, and they sound exactly the same to me. Like, I don't hear a difference at all. So when you hear stuff like just when that guy says these are not my mixes, I'm like, how would he even know? But I guess
sounds great to me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and my ear has over all these years has become that way too.
Yeah,
like I hear things, like even if I'm at the fire or whatever, and I'll be like, this is on my, and people will be like, can't. It's and so I've like let go of it sometimes because I'm like I'm sure I'm being crazy, but I've learned it's like even in 2025 especially, and especially like the younger generation making their own stuff. It's like sometimes they have good mixes, but a lot of times it's like you don't even need a good mix anymore.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Well,
I mean, there is, it depends on your genre maybe of what's
Sure,
happening
sure.
and who's
Yep.
doing it.
Yep.
Like, you do need a good mix, but there's so many people just releasing.
Yeah, oh,
and
yeah.
sometimes like, no lie, like, I want to support and I want to share, but if I hear the mix and I'm like,
You can't do it.
this mix, I can't
No, I
share
get
this,
it.
and I
get it.
want to,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, I get it. Well, nowadays everybody's listening on their phones, so
It doesn't even matter.
like you said it, not me. I was thinking about like the mixes don't really matter that much because everything gets so compressed, all the bass drops out of it, you lose all the dynamics. You know, it's tough.
Yeah, that's where I understand. Well, now I'm becoming, like, I'm 43, so I'm slowly becoming the old head. Like, I remember back, like, in the beginning when I first came back to Philly in 2010, there was a Philadelphia recording community, and that's where I met a few of them. I passed away at this point. This guy, Professor Pooch, he was awesome. He was like a legal consultant. He wrote so many. It was like I didn't have to go back to school for music business because he that's what he did. Like,
Okay.
he would like, we had this like secret community. Like, there was only like 10 of us. He picked 10 to 11,
nice.
and we would go up in his attic and we'd all get together. And like, yeah, it was super cool. But he was like all about the indie scene. And that's when I like also was like, I want to go indie. Like, majors are cool, but I want to start this indie thing.
Yep.
And that's when that started, like 2010, 2011. And, Mike Tarsia, who was Joe Tarsia's son, but he's also passed away by now. Joe Tarsia worked with like Gamble and Huff and all them back in the 70s when it was all the sound of Philadelphia. So these big guys, I don't know where I'm going with this right now, but it was super cool, like getting in with them. And they almost had like my Monday night meetup was almost like the same concept of what like I am kind of doing. And I'm almost considering like doing more what they did. Like, what they did was, it was a once a month meetup, but it was always at a different place.
Okay.
It wasn't just at one place. So it was a studio, or if it was a venue or whatever, people would meet up, and that way you expose that studio or that venue.
Oh, I see.
Which is super cool.
No, it's a great idea.
Concept.
Yep.
So I just went ADD down that. So
That's all right. That's totally. I wanted to ask you though. So the album that you worked on won the Grammy.
So it was like, I was on my way. It was in February. It was the Grammys, and I was watching them. And one of my friends' 30th birthday was that night. So, and at that time, I had gotten rid of my car, and I lived in the city. So I was riding my bicycle to the party. It was like at some club in the city, and all of a sudden I started getting messages from my manager at Chili's, and then the manager at the studio, like, the manager of the studio is like, congratulations, you have your first Grammy under your belt,
That's
right?
awesome.
And the manager's like, congratulations, your girl won. And I'm like, what? I have a Grammy? Like, you know? So,
Did you actually receive it? Do you have
so
one?
it's a certificate.
Oh, okay.
It's a
All right,
certificate
all
you
right.
have to pay for.
Oh, really?
I'm like, are you kidding me?
How much was it, if you don't mind me asking?
At that time, it was $50, and I could get as
Okay.
many, so I bought two. I bought one for me and one for my mom.
There you go.
You know?
Nice.
And then the following year, there was a lot of little different things from projects I was on in New York that were doing things. There was some of them I didn't even keep up with. The one, it was annoying because they put another engineer.
That's
It was like one something, and I filled in for that engineer that day.
Oh, okay. And you're like, wait a second, I worked on
And I hit someone up
Yeah.
about it, and they're like,
Yeah.
this happens. I'm like, okay, you guys are assholes. And then another project I was on won a Grammy, but I never really, I never even got the certificate. I never even, I can say I have two, but it was for best opera recording, and I wasn't there for the recording.
Oh, okay.
I was there for the mixing session.
You were part of the team, though.
Yeah,
Yep.
it was
Yep.
like John Adams or something like
Okay.
that, symphony something. So yeah, I was part of the team, and then in 2013, I went to the Grammys.
Did you?
It wasn't cheap.
Okay. All right.
I worked at Miller's Ale House. I was going through a breakup, a 6-year relationship, and the general manager there always wanted to get to the Grammys. He's
Yep.
like, if you can get there.
Yep. Sorry,
So-
what year was that?
2013.
Okay. All right.
He's like, if you, and I kind of, because, whatever. And then I'm going through a breakup, and you know how that is. I said, hey, you want to go to the Grammys? He said he would pay for it all. So we went to the Grammys. So
Now,
that was cool.
how did you go to the like? Did you be as a former winner? Do you have is that an
No.
option or
No one even hit me up about,
okay? So how did you end up going to the Grammys?
I was part of the Recording Academy in Philadelphia.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah,
right,
so I don't
all
know
right.
if that's still a thing.
gotcha.
I eventually stopped being a part of the Recording Academy, but you do get invited.
Oh, I see. All right.
And then you got to buy the ticket, and then you got to buy the after party, and then of course a place to stay and the flight. It becomes thousands and thousands of dollars. And then it was cool though. It was a fun experience. And then the following year, I wanted my mom to be able to go. She's a huge music. Yep. So then her and I went. We just split down the middle.
Oh, that's cool.
What it cost. So she got to go.
That's awesome.
And then I was like, I'm not gonna come back again.
Yeah.
it was cool, but it was just like the same thing.
Yeah, sure.
And both times we almost missed because like they have to close the door at 5:30, and you're like at a bar in LA, like, and you're like, oh my god, I'm not gonna make it in the door, but we made it both times barely.
Nice.
And I started functioning as like an indie label with the help of this guy, Professor Pooch.
Okay.
Like I was like, okay, nobody in Philadelphia has money.
Right.
So I don't know why I thought this was a great idea, but I was like bartending, making money, and I'm like, look, people want to work with me, so I'll just sign them on my little
I see.
indie label, So Nice Rack LLC or Nice Rack Records in 2015, that's when that came about.
I love that name, by the way.
Yeah. I know. Well, like, yeah, funny story, like, obvious. Well, so when I was in school, we had to make a studio from the ground up.
Okay.
And we had to design it all, whatever. And I like got all the gear, and then in Adobe Illustrator, I like drew all the racks of gear, so you could see like everything we were putting in the studio. And it was like right before the class, we all had to like present our studio. We were all like in some room finishing up, and every time we were showing somebody ours, they'd be like, "Oh, those are nice racks." And I'm like, you know what? Why don't we make our studio Nice Rack Studio? Like, I think that's a great name.
Yep.
And I don't know if we did. And it always just stuck with me. So by 2015, when I opened up an LLC, I'm like, I'm just going to make it Nice Rack LLC. Nice. And then like, Nice Rack Records, whatever. And I started functioning as this indie label, and I started working with people, and I had this kid that, so how many years we're still cool, like doing music. He was 19. I was probably in my mid 30s. Like they were all like 19-year-old boys would come to me. And if I wanted to keep working with them, I would. And then it was like me using all my bartending money to like fund the projects.
Yep.
And we released some things. And then it was in 2017, this one club that was opening up, that the owner had known me since 2000, 2001. I helped them open up this bar. And like the DJs were just like, I don't know. They were like killing my pocket. And then she's like, she knew my whole musical background.
Yep.
And she's like, what do you think about DJing? And I'm like, yeah, never really thought about it,
Right.
And she's like, I'll tell you what, my birthday's August 19th. She's like, it was Friday, August 18th. She's like, we're going to have a party. We're going to have a birthday party, and you're going to DJ. I'm like, oh. Okay. Like I had a laptop that I had to get when I was in school, like a MacBook Pro, something like 2007. But by 2017, it was like
outdated.
I wasn't really like using it. And that day, so it was August 18th, and I didn't even have a laptop. So I didn't think I would ever DJ again. And I have like this Mac Tower that I got in 2012. It was like the second fastest computer. So hard to get rid of it because it was and it's still it does great, like what it can handle. But I'm like, maybe I'll just take this thing. Like, I'm never gonna DJ again. Like, I don't even know what I'm doing. Like, I don't even have a play. Like, I don't even have anything.
And you've never really done it before, right?
No, and I never really. I'm a person that could never really remember like artist names or words to songs. Like, it was more or less like the production, like how it makes me feel.
Right.
I was more into like feeling. Like, I don't even need words, and I don't remember. Like, I didn't even know I was talking to Jessica Biel. Like, I don't even know what's happening. And like, I don't know. Like, I'm like, and then it was 3 p.m. that day that I'm like, maybe I should get a laptop. And then that's when so I got a laptop.
The day of your DJ job.
Day of, no music. I didn't even, thank God for the internet.
Yeah,
that's
right.
where I really, it wouldn't have worked if I didn't have the internet. And I was sweating bullets, and everyone's coming in for my birthday, and I didn't even have like DJ software. I have Ableton Live.
Okay.
You ever hear of Ableton?
I've heard of it. I don't know what it is though.
So it's great for like music production. It's great if you want to perform live, like with the push and everything. It's like a digital, when you have like the Ableton push with Ableton, it's like a digital instrument basically.
Okay.
And there's so much you can do with it.
Yep.
But that's like the only software I had. And it was just like so weird how I had a DJ, and I got through it.
Nice.
And they wanted me to DJ again.
Did they really?
It was like for Labor Day weekend or something. And So when I started buying masks and being weird, it was like I feel like I was overcompensating.
Oh, okay. All
like I
right.
was like I was taking requests and making people happy.
Yep.
But then I was also like, when I look back, like now I would never. I have no time for a mask. I'm like, no.
Were you trying to do like a dead mouse thing?
Well,
or
I guess
something?
it was like, it wasn't even like I was like, I had a sloth, this huge sloth head, a huge unicorn head.
Nice.
And then I had this, like, the second time that I ever DJ'd for Labor Day weekend, I had the music start playing. Like, the DJ would be upstairs, and I had, like, Lion King. And I came out with this, like, from the kitchen with, like, this Rafiki mask on. I don't know what I was doing. And then I don't even know what song I went into from there, but I, like,
That's
crawled
fantastic.
up to my DJ booth.
Oh my God, that's great.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on.
I love it. I love it.
And then that kind of like, I could go into more of what happened. But then what started happening was I was like, oh, I should get a controller. And what's this? What's this software that I had to buy like this thing so I could hear two outputs, so I could hear what was playing. And I never realized there was software with it. And then I was like, oh, what's this? And here it was DJ software.
Sweet.
Then I'm looking at all my numbers, and my DJ name is DaBooBoo. And I'm looking at all the numbers, and I'm like, the only person making money in this list is BooBoo. And I'm like, I don't know if I can keep doing this indie label thing,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And then I just started getting more like DJ stuff and production stuff, and I was like, wait, this kind of makes sense because I always like to add to people's music.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So like, not always when I DJ, but like it depends on how original I can be or not be. Like I'll have my my controller stuff, but then I'll also have Ableton over here. Like I can add live drums, I can add loops,
cool.
I can add sounds.
Yep.
So it's like I was like, wait a minute, this is actually what I want to do.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then it's like I had this vision when I was like 20 of like this whole thing that like I was like, wait a minute, like I wanted to have like this electronic with my guitar and this and that. And then it was like, wait a minute, like I'm doing it. Like I didn't even mean to get here.
Yeah.
20 years later, it was just
Fantastic.
like there.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it.
And then what happened? Where was I? I don't know.
Well, did you shortly after starting your DJ career, I guess, did you end at that independent label?
So what ended up happening with that was, the one person I was working with, it was like a 3-year contract. So that was almost done. And then there was this kid who was great. His name's Nick DiMattia. And we were working on his second EP. The first one he put out with another artist on my label. And then we did an EP, and we were in the middle of his second one. And a day before his 21st birthday, he died.
Oh, I had that hunch since you said was.
Yeah.
What happened? Do you know?
So he had an overdose, but I don't
man.
think it was like he was an addict. It wasn't,
Right.
I don't think it was on purpose.
That's a
like
shame.
he had a lot that, his dad died from an overdose when he was 3. And I don't know. This kid was awesome. And he was so talented. He was like getting into things and getting people to book him and and I was like, look, dude, go. Like, I'll record you, I'll produce you. If you can find a booking agent, if you can do this, like, go. Like it just sucks that happened. And he was supposed to be in Florida. And I was going to message him happy birthday, like the day before, 12 hours before. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be Aunt Drea because I was like older, than them. I'm just going to let him go with the boys.
Right.
And then it was 6 p.m. on that November 26th that Keith, that's the name of the person that I said was younger.
Yep.
And we used to produce everyone together.
Okay.
And he called me hysterical. And
sucks.
oh my God. So that was a nightmare.
Yeah.
And I kind of didn't even go in the studio till July so that was in 2018. So I was of course DJing and whatever, but I didn't do any studio work until July of 2019 because actually I did a little bit because we were working on a song of Nick's. It was called Dean. That was his dad's name. And he wanted to put that out. He wanted to record it, be done recording it, I think, like the day his dad died, and then he wanted to release it on his birthday.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And the problem was we finished recording it, and then he died a couple weeks later.
That's brutal.
That was in November, and then his dad's birthday was February 1st.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, like the song's so good. I'll have to send you a link. It's so good.
Yeah, man. I'll listen to it.
I basically, when we were going to put that out, I'm like, all right, like I was just going to put it out, and then I was like it was just so weird because like I invited everyone over right after he like whatever happened, and we're listening to the song that like is now about him.
Yeah, right.
I was like, what is happening? And so I'm like, I got to do something more than just put the song out. So I was like, I'm going to get together with the friends and family and like, I need to make some kind of lyric video. And they were like, they're all younger too. Well, you know, he has a sister that's younger than him that just turned 21. Poor girl. I feel so bad for her.
Yeah, right.
She loved her brother. But, so I'm like, they're like, of course, like, oh, maybe like in the middle of the video, like we can talk about Nick and this and that. And I was like, the thing is, the song wasn't about Nick.
Right.
So the song was about his dad. And so when someone listens to this, I don't even want them to know what happened to Nick.
Right.
Like this is for his dad.
Yep.
And what we ended up doing, which ended up being super cool, was we got all his writings and we took a picture of each letter, and then you can put it into this app and you can make a font.
Oh, okay.
And then we opened up like a Microsoft Word document and just typed it.
That's
so
cool.
It looks like he's like his writing.
Oh, I see.
And that's the lyric video.
Nice.
It's basically like, his sister typed it, and then of course I had to like adjust it to like the song or whatever. But then I was out of the studio till he was talking about releasing it in the summer, and his mom was like, well, I never got anything on my birthday.
Oh, no.
Jesse, I love you. And I'm like, okay, so what's your birthday? And her birthday, 8/10, I think it was 8/10. It was 8/10 that we ended up releasing it. Whatever it was really crazy because my birthday was also in that date, like 8/19.
Oh, I see.
Because mine is 8/19, and it was like 8/10/2019. So
I
it was
see.
like this weird thing.
Yeah,
when I realized, I was like, oh my God, this is the date. Like both of our birthdays are in this date.
Yeah.
So I went back in July, and then I had to finish it.
Yeah,
it was my first experience, like having to finish.
Yeah.
And at first, when we first play, I was like, everybody needs to come sit behind me or something. Like, I can't do this alone. Started bawling. And then, I got through it.
That sucks.
I got through it. And then, and then I just started DJing. And then, like, I give myself 10-year plans because the whole Grammy thing, like, my personal story, like, in the middle of all this music was, like, chaos. Like, I was I wasn't bad, but I was mixed up in things. And there's a whole story. And, you know, when the Grammy thing happened, and it happened so fast, it was like when I was like 20, like the beginning of all this, like, oh, I want to be a rock star. I want to get a Grammy one day. You know what I mean?
and then you did.
And then, but like I was in a lot of trouble at one point, and I went back to the bar industry for like 3 years after the Electric Factory, all this stuff. And then I was like 28 or 9, and like, I was like, what? I can't believe this even happened because I wasn't even thinking about it that much.
Right, yep.
And so I was like, okay, this is what I always tell the young people. I said, look, this is how I work. Doesn't mean this is how you work. But give yourself a 10-year plan and just trust the process. Like, even if it feels like you're trailing off, you could be trailing off, but that's part of the process.
Yeah.
Just know what you want. And just know that picture at the end, because there's going to be like, I would have never known I was going to be a DJ.
Yeah, right.
Because like when I turned 30, and my 10-year plan was, by 40, I wanted to make a living from what I love. And I knew that was music.
Okay.
And I didn't know how. Like, I was in my early 30s. I was just coming out of the major labels. I'm engineering. I'm trying to help out Philadelphia. I'm running this indie. Never did I think that DJing was going to be the thing. And I was right there. And I was making it. And I had like one bartending shift left a week. I was almost done making a living from what I love to do. And then what happened?
COVID
happened. I was like, God damn it. So that Monday, I forget the exact date that it was, but
March 18th.
Every consistent gig I had, any gig I had come, everything, like I had been working since I was 15. I've always worked, and I've always been in the bar industry, and I've always been in entertainment, and I've always been with music. And every single thing I had was like, I'm sorry, 2 weeks, or I'm sorry. Oh, we can't have you. I'm like, oh.
It just dried up in one day.
Which is funny because like only a month or two before that, like when you do a lot of events, sometimes it gets really exhausting.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure with whatever you do, it's like, oh my God, like I just want a mindless job. I just want a mindless job. I just need this to go away for a little bit, and then boop,
Yep. Then it did.
It did. It did. And I was like, oh my God, I was almost turning 40. And
So what did you do during COVID then?
so during COVID, I first just freaked out and got like a temp job.
Right.
And I didn't even realize what I was doing because it had been so long since, like, normally my pay was like, you know, whatever, at that point, 30 to 50 an hour or whatever. And I'm just getting gigs and like, you're not even thinking about your pay. Like, you're thinking about your pay,
Yep.
but like, you're
It's not
just,
like
you know, you're
working-
getting paid and you're like, you know, you're getting paid well. And it's like, whatever.
And it's not like working a regular job, like where you're waiting for Friday to come to get paid, you know, like you're, you know, and when you're in that kind of industry or the arts or whatever, it's the money comes whenever it comes.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So I just freaked out because I was like, oh my God, I haven't had a job since I was 15. Like, what am I going to do? And like, everybody was freaking out, you know, when none of us knew what was happening. And I took this temp job at a factory that needed temps to help make bottles for sanitizer, because that was the new thing. We needed sanitizer.
Sure.
And that was the first day. So that was a 7 to 7. Oof. So I'd have to get up at 5 in the morning when normally that's when I'd be going to bed.
Yeah.
Like 5 is usually kind of late, but like it happens. Like 4 or 3 is normal. Yep. So I'd get up at 5. I'd have to make my lunch, which that's never a thing. Like, I usually get free drinks and food, you know? So I have to get up at 5, make my lunch, blah, 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 drive to Levittown, wherever it was, and clock in at 7. Like, if you didn't clock in at 7, it was like the end of the world. And then, like, put on all this, like, glasses and all the safety things and you know, work till you get a lunch break.
Yep.
But it was like a 12-hour day, and you know, some people like mad respect because there's something for everyone.
Yeah,
and
some people love that shit.
There was this guy there that I was working with, had been there since like the year I was born.
Oh wow.
And I'm like, so this guy's just been coming here,
grinding
in the factory, and then probably, I'm assuming, having beers, going to bed, waking up, and you know, and that's great. But you know, for an artist, it's not.
Sure.
It's almost like being in prison, but probably a little better. I don't know. So then, the first day, at the end of that first day, I left. Whatever. It was so annoying. I was having to. It was like McCormick black pepper, like So I had to be the person that it was like so many of these containers, like, and I had to just if there was any kind of defect.
Oh, okay. You're
so
like
I'm
a quality control person.
Whatever I was doing. So I came back the next day, and the people that they're in charge, they're like, "Oh, you came back," and I'm like, "Do people normally not do that?" And they're like, "Hey," and I'm like, so now they got it in my head, like, I can walk out of this place.
Yeah,
you know?
Yep.
And then when I got a paycheck finally, I feel like it might have been like 3 days a week. And it was only like 11 or 12 something an hour. And the check was like $200 some.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, what the hell? And while that was happening is when I guess they started doing this unemployment $600 thing happened.
Yeah. Yep.
And everybody's like, why are you doing that? You could. And I'm like, I didn't know, like this is all just happening. And I started to hate. Like it wasn't much time, and it was 4:20.
I know it. Yep.
So 4:20, I had my socks on, and I was like looking at my socks. I was on my lunch break, and I was like, I gotta get out of here. And I left.
Nice.
And I never went back. I went home and just cried. Like, I don't even know what's happening. Like I was supposed to be releasing an EP on that day.
Oh, right.
And then I couldn't have the party because of the COVID stuff.
Sure.
So then I was like, you know what? I'm just not gonna. I'll just put it out. Which I'm kind of glad I did because now I listen to it.
Was it your own music?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
And I'm kind of glad I did because now I listen to it. It's kind of demo-ish. And yeah. So 4/20, 2020. Yeah. I remember that one meme that was like, you would never 10 years ago or even 1 year ago imagine the government saying we're going to send you $600 every other week. You can only go out for food, weed, and alcohol. Like we're going to pay you.
Right. We'll pay you to stay
We would have
home.
never believed that.
I know. It's crazy.
And then I just did some live streams and, I just navigated. And then I kind of, I guess, if you want to say it's illegal. In 2021, February, I was like itching. I'm like, I can't fucking sit at home anymore. Like,
Right.
and I hit someone up, and some places stayed open. They shouldn't have. And
Sure.
And they're like, hit up this person. And so I started hosting karaoke March 2021.
Oh, okay. All right.
And it was like DM for location.
Yeah, right. That's so funny.
It is so funny. But I what I do love about the pandemic is I feel like for the younger generation, it brought back like a scene in Philly that I hadn't really seen since like the 90s. Like,
Oh, yeah?
Because they needed to find a place to still do what they were going to do.
Oh, okay.
And it kind of like, I think it changed how much the younger generation drinks. Like, I know people drink.
Yeah.
But like, I just feel like there was this shift because you couldn't go to bars. Like, it was like, and they had to find a place to go play, or they had to find a place to go DJ. And now like that's carried through, and there's so many like independent, you know, people making shows or festivals or different things. So I think it's super cool, like the scene that got brought back because of the pandemic.
Well, yeah. I mean, for as awful as it was, I mean, I credit the pandemic for getting me back into music. You know, I was on like a 20-year hiatus of just like not doing anything music related. And then, you know, once I was home all the time, and I just started posting little clips on Instagram of me playing Metallica riffs, you know what I mean? And then it just grew from there. And now I'm like a semi-professional musician and a podcast host and all that stuff.
That's awesome. I love that. Yeah, it was like, we were all trying to figure it out. We were all trying to figure it out. So
what are you doing nowadays? What's your main gig now?
Basically, no. I mean, I just DJ. I host every first Monday at the Fire. So the next week is coming up. And then every Thursday I host karaoke at that place in Bensalem.
Nice.
And then I'm the resident DJ for Philly Drag Mafia. So they, the person that runs that, his name's Ian Morrison. He is 53, and he started doing drag in the 90s, and created Philly Drag Mafia, which genius name. I just love it.
It is
and
awesome.
We get booked, like we're like the best of 2022, 2023. So we get booked everywhere. That's why like I'm in the Poconos, Atlantic City, all over, just wherever we get booked is where we go.
What kind of show is that? Describe. Okay, you said you're the resident DJ. So like, what are you doing? What are the other characters doing?
So we do a lot of, so if we're doing brunches, it's basically like a drag brunch.
Okay.
So there will be some drag queens. Sometimes he'll have people that sing, like he always says this at the shows, and I'm going to say it. We have the one on Tuesday, every first Tuesday of the month. We're at Resorts Casino, and at 6 p.m. the doors are at 5, and at 6 p.m. it's like a cabaret. Okay. So it might be a drag queen or two, or Billy, or sometimes he has some girls, whoever can sing really good, and they just sing. And
they're
we do
singing
that for an hour.
They're singing the backing tracks that you're playing. Is that right?
So I'll be playing that. A lot of times what happens at these kind of things, it's like the doors open, I play music, catch the vibe, get people amped up or whatever, and then the show happens, and they'll have tracks that they're going to perform to that I already have.
Gotcha.
And there'll be a small break a lot of times. I just, hype the crowd up again.
Yep.
And then I also have my own party that I do. So my DJ name is DaBooBoo. So I have this party, Boo Boo's Babes, which kind of formulated because of working with all these different people, and just like the first one I did was in 2019, and it was at the Fire, and it was successful. And then the pandemic happened. And then I was never going to bring it back, and I did in July of 2023. I brought it back, and now I bought this gigantic, so Boo Boo's Babes, it's in like a neon font, and I bought this big neon sign for at the parties, and it was like with shipping, it was a waterproof one, and with shipping it was like $800. Wow. Okay. So last year, like I was doing these different I was kind of figuring out, I guess, what to do with Boo Boo's Babes. Like I did a burlesque show, I would do a drag show, or I would do whatever, and it was like, I don't know, but no matter what, like I always pay people really well. So even if I'm going to lose money, I'm still going to pay you. And last year was the year of losing money to get the name out there. Sure. And almost threw the towel in so many times. But that sign, it's like if I show it to you or whatever, I have a whole party page, Boo Boo's Babes. It's like, well, okay, no one probably going to want to buy this for how much I paid. I'm not going to hang it up because it's going to piss me off that I bought it and I'm not doing anything with it.
Right.
And like, I don't want it in the box.
Right.
So I'm going to have to throw another party.
Yeah. You just got to keep doing it.
I just got to keep doing it.
Got to get the use out of it, right?
And so it was last year that this club, it used to be called Taboo. It's a huge, like, 3-story club in the neighborhood.
Okay.
I started DJing there every other first Saturday of the month.
What's it called now? Do you know?
254.
254. Okay.
It's their address.
Yep.
They haven't thought of a name. It's okay. And they had this idea. They're like, well, why don't we do a dance party with pop-up performances? And I had never thought of that.
Yep.
So it's basically I'm DJing, and then like every 20 minutes I have like, it can be a drag performer. I've had showgirls.
Okay.
I've had burlesque. I've had performing artists just come out.
Yep.
But it's just like the focus is the dance party, but then there's like this entertainment thrown
that's cool.
throughout it. So the next one for that is actually Saturday.
Okay. Nice.
So that's fun. It's free.
Yep.
No cover.
Do you have like a regular set schedule for that or no?
Every other first Saturday of the month.
Every other.
So the next one will be
Saturday.
July.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. So May and then July and then September. After that? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
And then how can people find you, like on social media and all that stuff?
So on social media, so I guess musicisourhero.com is one of the easiest ways, because on there you can learn. I have these different entities that I've created that I'm trying to find the best way to. You can't have one Instagram. If you have like I'm a DJ, then there's Drea,
Right.
then there's Music is Our Hero, and then there's Boo-Boo's Babes. Like I can't post everything on one. So
Sure.
but yeah, if you go to musicisourhero.com, there's a whole Drea Young part, and there's a whole DaBooBoo part.
Yep.
And then there'll be all the links in there in those like you know.
So musicisourhero.com, and that's kind of your central location then.
That is the central location.
Gotcha.
That's what I wish my LLC was Mio.
Mio?
And not nice. Music is
yeah,
Our Hero.
Yeah.
Because that's
Gotcha.
more, because it's like, which Music is Our Hero. Like,
Yeah, I got a shirt. I should have worn my shirt. Dang
oh my
it.
God, you do have a shirt.
I know, I forgot to wear my shirt. I'm sorry.
So Music is Our Hero. Like that's the umbrella that everything, because that's the brand, and that like started in 2011. When I came out of the majors, I just came up with this thing that was Music is Our Hero, and I never really did much with it. And it was 2020 or 2021 is when I came up with that logo.
Okay.
I'm like, why don't I make a cool like superhero-ish kind of logo? And that's really what I stand for, because music has I didn't tell you any of my troubles, but like the truth is music like saves my life every day. Like if I didn't have to go like this weekend, so tomorrow night I have karaoke. Friday night I'm in Atlantic City at this bar, Birdcage.
Yep.
And then 6 o'clock I'm in New Jersey somewhere, doing something. And then I'm done at 9, and then I got to get right to Philly to that club for Boo-Boo's Babes.
Yep.
So like it's always kept me going. It's always the thing that I've loved, and like I know it saved my life.
Sure.
Because if I didn't have it, I'd be bored.
Yeah. And getting into all kinds of trouble, right?
And so many people say that. Like I'll hear people say it not even knowing it's my brand. Like, oh, music is my hero. Like then they just like, and it's true.
It is.
And I feel for the people that have a different part of their brain that they use. Because I don't know what you do. I mean, I guess they do. They know what
Maybe
they do.
they have something else that's their hero,
There's
but
got to
I
be
don't know what
something
it
else.
is.
But like
know?
when you don't have that, it's definitely they have to have something. I don't know.
hope.
I actually don't know.
For their
maybe
sake, I
just
hope.
greed. But like to not have a creative outlet, I couldn't imagine.
Well, I wish you the best of luck. Is anything before we wrap it up? Anything else you wanted to let my audience know, or did we pretty much cover everything?
I think you got the
Got
story, the scoop.
Cool.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
Fun.
Yeah, this was a blast. Thank you so much.